So, as some of you know who have been with us on Sunday mornings, at least right around the time that this video is being shot, we have spent the summer focusing in our Sunday morning worship on trees. And we've shared stories about our own experiences with trees, trees that we've seen and trees that we've appreciated over the years and throughout our lifetimes. But we've also been particularly following trees as they appear in the Bible. Lots of times, trees are there to exemplify for us what wisdom is, what faithful Torah observance is, what the blessed life is like, what being in intimate relationship with God is meant to be like. So there certainly are lots of things to learn about trees, to notice about trees, and it has just made me all that much more sensitive to trees around me, which is why I was utterly fascinated by a little movie called Train Dreams, which spends an awful lot of time focusing on trees. The main character is a lumberjack. He essentially cuts trees down for a living. This takes place at the turn of the 20th century. And there are some very potent lines in this story, including one where an aged lumberjack is sitting around the campfire with the rest of the crew, and they're talking about next steps. And one of them says, I just feel itchy after we finish a job. And he equates it to kind of misses it, kind of wants to continue the work. He's not sure what it is. And one of the other aged lumbermen says, no, that feeling is because it's hard work, and it's not just hard on the body, it's hard on the soul. Some of these trees have been around for 500 years, and you can't cut them down without having it affect your soul, whether you notice it or not. And then he carries this idea on and says something like, this universe is intricately threaded together, and every time you pull on one thread, we have no idea how that affects the rest of the fabric of the universe. We are but children on this earth who are removing bolts from a Ferris wheel and thinking ourselves to be God. I thought, what a profound thought, what a profound observation. We are but children in this world, and we dabble around, but we imagine that we're God, but we have no idea of the history of the earth or how the different parts of creation are all connected. In a lot of ways, this movie evokes some thoughts and some emotions that you just can't get from other movies, other stories even. It's based on a novella by the same name. And it is what I am going to call more contemplative fiction, contemplative cinema. It moves a lot slower. I had literally watched this movie right after I had watched a period drama about some conniving, scheming young man who, through the entire movie, is trying to will his dreams into existence, and they're always just out of reach, and there's this overhanging dread and anxiety, and it is reflected with frenetic camera work and editing. And I left that movie very agitated and unsettled, not even sure if I liked it. And I watched this one literally like a day or two after. And it was amazing to me just how much calmer, how much space it had to breathe and to move. It's not dialogue driven. It is sort of what you would think of from a Terrence Malick film. A lot of naturescapes, a lot of cutaways, a lot of B-roll, just about creation. In this case, a lot about trees. Sometimes kind of mystical, spiritual comfort that provides when you are out in nature and working amongst trees. And as the movie goes on, and as the main character ages, there's a little bit of dread and concern just when you start considering what that main dialogue was about how much are we affected by what we think we're just doing for a living, but we're actually unraveling the very good fabric of the universe that's been put in our care. This is an incredible meditation on life, on its intricacies and its complexities, about how it is an intermingled thing that has moments of joy and wonder and hope and peace in it, but also moments of sorrow and regret. And sometimes we see the ugliness of society. Sometimes we see what a haunted conscience looks like. Sometimes we see what deep longing and desire feels like. And this innate fear that a lot of people have, and we've had for generations and generations, that the world is changing so fast. We feel like we are constantly being left behind, and maybe, just maybe, we don't matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. We don't matter to society, and maybe we don't even matter to the universe. Whereas Train Dreams is not a particularly Christian film, it is what I would call a spiritual film that hungers and thirsts for what is that hidden knowledge, that mystery that we all feel, but we don't spend a lot of time thinking about. There's even one prayer scene, a eulogy, that's given that is equal parts humorous and yet I think profound, where a lot of these woodsmen are in the middle of a job, and when someone dies, and because of the time that this occurs in, you can't just ship the body back somewhere or have a helicopter come in and airlift somebody out. You perform a burial right there on the spot. And someone gives a very broken eulogy about memories that they have of one of the people that they've worked with. And yet, just kind of the senselessness of the tragedy. And then the person says, I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what meaning to draw from that. In Jesus' name, amen. And that to me sums up just a lot of life. It's here, it's gone. We are given the gift of people, sometimes at just the right moment in life, and sometimes looking back, there were people that we didn't appreciate, but we now realize were probably sent from God to be an encouragement to us and to give us what we needed to make the next step in our earthly journey. We don't always know what to make of it, and we don't always know what to take from it, but may it all be in Jesus' name. How are we connected and interconnected? The good to the bad, the short term to the long term. And who but God could keep it all together? So if you are looking for some space to just create an opportunity to breathe and to think and to contemplate deeper things, including the value and yet the seeming insignificance of a life. And yet, from a broader perspective, maybe at least appreciating why each and every life is important. Then, by all means, give this one a look. I will connect in the description below both the trailer and one of the songs from the film, which gives you a good idea of what the mood is. But whatever sense we're supposed to draw from it, may it be in Jesus' name.